Ladies and gentlemen, 49 coming at you with another community shoutcast for the OUSA Dota League Season 1. Just moving into game number 2 for Horsemen of the Ruckus up against See and Believe. Horsemen of the Ruckus took a dominating game 1 victory, really showing off their individual skill as players. Dumbledy played that Silencer over in the mid lane. Hang on a second, I'll see if we can actually get a remake.
Radiant team ban.
Just gonna see if we can get a quick remake, just so I can get my co-caster Yoshi to join me. Yeah, looks like we're gonna be happening.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
Alright, so we've got that first ban, Ember Spirit. Once again, a pretty standard ban. A bit surprising they've chosen to ban it out, considering that the See and Believe actually have first pick this time. I guess they're fearing the power of that Viper cannon pick, which King Killer showcased yesterday in their first game against TYK. They don't feel confident to pick up the Ember Spirit on their own. They definitely don't want to give it away over the 4 Horsemen of the Ruckus. First ban, Pugner, coming out from 4 Horsemen of the Ruckus. Very unconventional ban. Actually, I don't think I've ever seen a Pugner as a first ban. Yoshi was commenting earlier, it's very rare to see him get that far into the ban to begin with. He's a very strong hero, but he does pigeonhole your team to go into that early death ball push. He does function very well in that aggressive tri-lane Nether Blast, especially with the fact that Decrepify's magic amplification damage has increased from 33% up to 50%. Significant amount of burst power coming up from if you have 2 other heroes that have a lot of nukes flying out. Secondary ban, Nyx Assassin coming up from 4 Horsemen of the Ruckus. A very powerful hero, is a huge pain in the ass to play against, especially if you're a support hero as he exerts that invisibility tax. Second ban, Slug. Very strong hero. He usually is first and second ban, but See and Believe let him through in the draft in game number 1. They paid for it, with King Killer playing a dominating slap, completely controlling the offlane up against that Bristleback, picking up the fast Shadow Blade as well as a Ayasgadi, and using it to dominate the team. See and Believe with that first pick. Will be interesting to see what they pick up. Just going to let my co-caster know that unfortunately they're not remaking the lobby.
Reserve time.
Mirana.
Dire team pick.
Remake after.
Oh, awesome. Okay, hold on.
Dire team pick.
So we've got first pick from the Clockwork as an offlane hero. Very strong hero to deal with. Looks like the Radiant ban with that Pugner as well as that Nyx Assassin was to open up the draft, and sure they do get that Clockwork. He can function very well in any laning situation, whether that be 1v1, 1v2, or 1v3. We've got Mirana picked up by See and Believe. UGTFO's signature hero. He's usually been pretty on point in those areas. The last game he did mess with a few, but nonetheless, very strong hero, very versatile. Like that Clockwork, can go into essentially any lane. She could work in the tri-lane as that carry or even the support hero. She could roam. She could go over into the mid lane if you're confident in the Mirana's ability to land arrows, and she could function very well in that off lane with that pounce to get her out of danger. Nature's Prophet picked up as well, so it looks like a mid lane Clockwork and an off lane Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet has to be a solo hero. He needs that EXP. He needs that gold. He can't function very well in the mid lane as well. It's a wasted position for him, so most likely we'll be seeing that mid lane Clockwork. Mid lane suits Clockwork fine. Because once he hits that level 60, instantly he picks up a rune, he can instantly rotate with that 2.5k range hook at level 6. If he catches a hero out on their own, he can isolate them with cogs, and with Battery Assault, give bursting down before they can even do anything. Against certain heroes like the Earthshaker, like that Leshrac, they actually can't even cast spells, as Battery Assault interrupts them before they can finish their casting animation. So any hero with the cast point of above 0.5, like Omni Knight is another example, unable to cast anything. Second pick up from See and Believe, we'll see what they pick up. Most likely we'll be going for another support, probably one of those 2 support heroes for that tri-lane, as I don't want to give away their mid this early on in the draft. However, they're most likely aware that Clockwork will be used in the mid lane, so we'll see what heroes can go toe-to-toe against that Clockwork. The thing about Clockwork that makes him so difficult is the fact that he always has that constant burn damage coming out from the cogs. If he can push you in it, 80 mana and HP at level 1. Is an absolute pain in the ass to deal with. That means he'll always be able to break even, as it's difficult to go for a kill attempt over on Clockwork. They've gone for a Warlock pickup, same believe going for a lot of unconventional picks, and that last game they picked up that Necrophos. Was a very greedy pick, did not work out for them at all. We'll see if Warlock works a bit better this time. The thing about Warlock is, while he does offer a lot in terms of sustainability for your lane with that Shadow Word and with that Fatal Bond harassment, like a Lich, he can't really roam or rotate to gank. I mean, if your mid hero gets overpon, Warlock can TP in, but other than throwing out that Shadow Word, not all too much he can do. I guess if he gets an early pawn upheaval, he can throw that down. But there's a lot more things that another support hero can do in that situation. He can't really go in for a roaming gank. All he really offers is a few right clicks and that maybe a bit of Shadow Word dot. But in terms of teamfight power, Fatal Bonds, as well as Upheaval and that Warlock Ult Chaotic offering, absolutely amazing teamfight potential. Warlock comboed with that Venomancer, great teamfight potential as Fatal Bonds with that Venomancer Poison Nova actually makes Poison Nova do lethal damage as the Poison Nova damage procs off the Fatal Bonds, and the Fatal Bonds is lethal. Third ban, we've got Outlaw Destroyer as well as that Lich. Both pretty standard bans. Lich banned out due to Gyatz's dominating performance on them. The fact that you could deny your enemy heroes EXP as well, gaining EXP yourself using that sacrifice means it's been a pretty common pickup. Lich's biggest drawbacks though is he's unable to do anything against a push, and he isn't all too effective as a roaming or rotational support hero. All he has is that Frostbite, and that does cost a lot of mana, so there's only so much you could do. Moving over into the fourth ban for See and Believe, will be interesting to see what they choose to ban out. They know the mid and the off lanes are already being secured, so they want to ban out tri-lane heroes or tri-lane support heroes that the Radiant side are known for. They could go for a Centaur Warrunner ban, and they've gone for the Shadow Shaman. Provides a lot of pushing power, especially in conjunction with that Nature's Prophet, with that Rat Dota coming out from the Global Teleportation, as well as Nature's Call. And alright, it looks like my co-caster won't be joining me for this, so we won't be needing a remake. Just gonna let King Killer know.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds.
And so just waiting for the fourth ban from Horseman of the Ruckus.
Reserve time.
Actually, is anybody else in the broadcast channel with me right now?
Yeah, bro.
Who's this?
Oh, it's good money. I'm a friend of Jesse's.
Oh, what's up, bro? How you doing?
So I heard you went to the same school as me.
Yeah, I was in ACG Parnell for a year with Jamie and Jesse.
Ah, snap. But yeah, I could like shed some light on See and Believe's draft if you're interested to hear.
Yeah, sure, why not? It's always good to have an inside opinion.
10 seconds,
So,
10
like,
seconds remaining.
Dream is like my little brother, and he started to form a team, and they like got together like maybe 3 weeks ago, and they've just got like a really limited hero pool. That's all.
Radiant team.
Ah, I see. So, what position will that Warlock be in? Will he be in the mid lane?
No, I'll probably be a support to be honest.
Over in the tri-lane, okay.
From what I remember, Jun can like what he plays is like Viper, Co-op, like just like very aggressive ganking heroes.
Right, I see.
For the Pugner and Nyx bans, like Jesse just never listens. He doesn't really want to listen, so he just bans whatever he wants.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And so we've got that Slardar third pickup.
He's up to.
Really strong hero, especially with the recent buffs that he's received. Sprint no longer costs mana, Blink Dagger no longer costs mana. That means the only thing you're spending his mana pool on is his ultimate, Amplified Damage, which is 25 mana, as well as his Crush. So that means that he could actually choose to rush that Blink Dagger very early on, get that Blink Crush combination, throw out his ult, and just beat you down. Invoker's that third pick. King Killer has a lot of games played over in that Invoker. Most likely we'll be seeing that Crosswex Invokers. We've got a lot of teamfight power coming out already from the Clockwork and the Nature's Prophet. Actually, we've got 3 solo heroes, so we might actually even see a jungling Nature's Prophet. I know Jamie likes to play Nature's Prophet in pub games and goes jungle. I always flame him because he never gets his Midas by 8 minutes. I keep telling him, why pick that hero if you can't get Midas in time? He says he wants to snipe the courier, so looks like we're going to be seeing dual lane with the off lane's Clockwork as well as the mid lane Invoker. And Juggernaut may be picked up with something like a Crystal Maiden. That's a pretty classic dual lane.
I know that's Skatz's favorite hero, but like too bad he's real bad at carry.
Yeah, that's definitely true. He's pretty good as a support or as an offlaner, but not too great over on the carry. Fourth pick.
He's not good at all. That's why he's joined this team.
Oh yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
Shots fired.
Wait, Paddy, are you in the team for this year?
5 seconds remaining.
Oh, I was supposed to join the Horsemen, but I can't be bothered playing with Gat, so I didn't join.
Reserve time.
Fair enough, fair enough. And so it looks like
I'll have to lose in the finals.
See and believe dipping into their reserve time. Got about 20 seconds left. They're deliberating on their 4th pickup. We've got that 4th man Timbersaw. It's pretty standard, as well as that OD. They're pretty standard heroes to ban out just because of how powerful they are. Especially as Timbersaw in a 1v1 situation with the Clockwork, they actually break even as Clockwork can push him back with the cogs, get that mana burn harassment going off. And we've got Tidehunter, so a lot of teamfight power coming out. Pretty interesting lane situation going on. I guess we'll be seeing a Mirana in the offlane, Warlock, Slardar, and Tidehunter. Warlock and Tidehunter, not the greatest support duo. I mean, we could see a Tidehunter in the offlane up against that Clockwork. That has been seeing a bit of a resurgence. Get that early Blink Dagger up on the Tidehunter, max out that Anchor Smash, use that to zone the Clockwork at a lane. In that case, that means all they do have to pick up that mid hero, and we could be seeing a support Mirana in conjunction with that Warlock. Pretty unconventional picks, but we'll see what we could do. And it looks like King Killer's gone and banned out that Viper. So Dream's hero pool just got cut in half. Guess we'll be seeing
I wouldn't be surprised if Dream pick up Queen of Pain right now.
Yeah, it looks like that might be their only option. They're going for that best ban. They want to ban out another support hero, but there's such a huge pool of support heroes available, there's only so much they could do. So they want to ban out heroes that they specifically don't like playing against in that support position role. Might be seeing a Crystal Maiden. They're moving on to about 4 seconds. They're cutting it pretty fine. And Silencer. They're afraid of Dumbledore on that Silencer, even though that lineup would be way too greedy to support the Silencer. Bit of a panic ban. 5th pick coming up from Horseman of the Ruckus.
I can tell you now that Jesse won't be playing Quas Wix 100% now.
Yeah, he's going for that Quas Exile.
Amazing. It'll be amazing against See and Believe, but Jesse's a stubborn cunt, so...
Yeah, that's definitely true. He's probably the most aggressive player I've ever seen. That outside of maybe someone like HoR. One of the games I casted yesterday, he dove 2 towers to get a kill, actually failed to kill, and went down to the Viper.
I watched the stream.
Pretty embarrassing stuff, but I guess with the Sprout and with the cogs, easy setup for that Sunstrike. Sunstrike does so much damage, and Rubick, yeah, pretty standard all-around good support hero. It's a bit of a defensive pickup, but with that Telekinetic lift into the Blade Spin, it provides a decent amount of killing power. The objective of that dual lane is not to fall apart against that tri-lane aggression. They know that the tri-lane isn't going to be strong enough, so they're punishing the...
Yeah, I called it, Quap.
If you can't pick Viper, pick Quap. Up against a Quas Exiled Invoker, who would you have the advantage to? I mean, I know King Killer's a better hero, but a better player most likely, but in terms of hero matchup, Quas Exiled Invoker against that Queen of Pain?
In my opinion, like Quap, I find lose a lane with Quap unless you're versing like OD.
Mm-hmm. Wait, so you're saying Queen of Pain beats the OD?
Hey bro, you're cutting out.
Ooh.
I can hear you.
Sorry, getting a bit of lag spikes over on my end. So yeah, looks like Jamie will be playing... Oh no, never mind, King Killer over on the Nature's Prophet. Dumbledore over on Invoker, he's a fantastic player. We'll see if he decides to go for that Quas Wex or go for some of that Quas Exile. I've seen him play with both. So, it looks like...
On Juggernaut.
Yeah. So UGTFO on that Clockwork, and I guess that means Jamie's playing Rubick. I don't think I've ever seen Jamie play Rubick before. But I guess no time to learn like the present. Just going to quickly introduce the players from...
They're just screwing around now.
Yeah.
Last game.
So we got Dumbledore.
Gets on carry, come on, seriously.
Shots fired once again. Dumbledore over an Invoker in the middle lane. UGTFO in that offlane Clock. Looks like he's heading over to that safe lane. King Killer over on Nature's Prophet. Actually, will we be seeing a tri-lane Clockwork? I guess with that Telekinetic lift, you could throw him into the cogs. You could even use the cogs to do a bit of harassment. Gats over on the Juggernaut. Over on the Radiant side, we see Mirana in the offlane. Jimmy Whispers, he played that Bristle back in the last game, was doing okay. He did get dominated by that Slark in that 1v1 situation. Dream over in the middle lane as that Queen of Pain, his other hero he could play. Stranger Danger on that Warlock. He played a pretty terrible Necrophos. That was a really greedy pickup. They weren't able to execute it properly. We'll see how he does on that Warlock. And Tlarlock, the carry, playing that Sven. Looks like it actually could be a 2-1-2, as we've got Tidehunter played by Rezimki, who was the line player in the last game over on that Tidehunter. Yeah, it looks like a 2-1-2. And King Killer might actually be going jungle. Yeah, he's definitely got jungle items.
Jungle build, look at that. Look at that build, look at that.
That confidence and that arrogance coming out from all these players. King Killer, usually the hyper-aggressive mid player.
I'm surprised he didn't get Gloves of Haste in triple clarity.
And we've got you.
Pure arrogance, just slap in the face.
Yeah, Pretty much. We've got UGTFO. He's being a bit more. He's playing it safe. He's playing that Clockwork off lane. That's a pretty standard hero. He knows what he's doing. He's going to go that cog block off right now. Waiting for the cog block. Never mind. He's just going to go for a regular block. No. He's trapping out that range creep to make sure the melee creeps go a bit ahead. Over in mid lane. Dumbledy hasn't even used any of his orbs yet. He's not skilled. Did he go stats? No, he hasn't.
Just trolling.
Oh no, he just hasn't skilled any of his abilities. So Dumbledy, arrogant slap in the face, some poor form coming up from Horseman of the Ruckus. He's still outlast hitting the Queen of Pain, even without any of his regens invoked. Horseman of the Ruckus, showing off at this point.
Methinks you wanted that.
Still out CSing that Queen of Pain, despite the 16 damage point difference.
Top is missing.
Yeah, I called it. They never go crosswicks.
Oh, there we go, and we got Exalt coming out.
There's too much pride for them.
Yeah, that's definitely true. We got a ban coming out, a quick pause coming out from Tidehunter. Jamie immediately wants to respond. Gat starting with shield as well as Quelling Blade. That's that arrogance coming out once again. He says, we don't need stat items. Jamie's messaging me in chat saying, I actually can't play Rubick. I told you so, buddy, but you'll see what you can do.
I'm sure his Rubick will be better than Gat's. It's slow.
So what are you studying there, Paddy?
Sorry?
Well, what are you studying?
Oh, I finished uni like last year, but now I'm a personal trainer.
Oh, right, all good. So you're still down in Dunedin?
Yeah, bro, still down to Dunedin. What about you?
Yeah, I'm second year studying English and history.
Ah, fair enough.
So getting stuck into it. UGTFO soloing up over against that Slardar while the Warlock goes for the pull. He should be having a pretty easy lane. There's no real way the Slardar can kill the Clockwork unless he screws up and somehow traps him in with the cogs. Some good plays coming out from him. Already we see... King Killer looks like he went for that Courier Snipe. Was a little bit off, bit of action happening. Dream forced to blink out. I was already completely out of mana. Dumbledy controlling the lane. You've got that Shadow Strike harassment coming out, so that's definitely there to ensure that Queen of Pain is getting completely destroyed. He's gone for 2 points over in that Shadow Strike. Means that his Scream of Pain will be delayed. Really delays the amount of burst damage coming out from that Queen of Pain. She can't start solo gank until she hits level 8 then, as you want to make sure you've got 4 points up, and that Scream of Pain to follow up with your Sonic Wave once you do get that ult at level 6.
What's your opinion on 2-level Shadow Strike?
Personally, I don't really like it. I guess in this case, since he knows that Invoker went for a Quas Exile, he's punishing him for the fact that he won't have as much sustainability in regen. But Queen of Pain should actually be doing fine. Wow, over in the top lane, Jamie feeds up against that Mirana. It looks like he tanked an arrow to the face. Gat threw down that healing ward and went for that spin.
Shots by him.
Never mind, Gat doesn't even have healing ward. And so all he had, he's gone for crit at level 1. I really don't like this. You want to get a point up in stats so you can use your ult right after your spin. And then you want to go for a point over that healing ward. Looks like Jamie's gone for a bit of flaming. Real poor form coming out from Horseman of the Ruckus. Bad manners. It'll be interesting to see if they actually get their ass beaten down by SNB. Dumbledy getting out CS now by that Queen of Pain. He does have more denies. But that arrogance from him might turn to bite him in the ass. Missing a CS there. Despite that excellent damage. That 2 points up in Shadow Strike isn't really necessary, especially against the Invoker, since you can always invoke the Quas Orbs to regenerate against that. You want to max out that Scream of Pain, as Queen of Pain should have an easy time beating Invoker in lane anyway, so you want to make sure that you get that Scream, a level 4 Scream up by level 7, so you can start rotating and going for gank opportunities. And if Invoker does overplay, you can always take him out. In fact, Queen of Pain overpaying right now, eating a lot of damage. Her slow cast point over on that blink and her slow turn rate means that she cops a lot of damage from that cold snap. It's an instant cast point. Every tick of damage means that she's stunned, mini stunned for a little bit. It's an absolute pain in the ass to deal with, especially if you're a hero with a slow cast point, such as that Earthshaker, that Ogre Magi, that Omni Knight. And we see Dumbledy's regaining control of that lane. He's just beating Queen of Pain back, saying, you can harass me, but I'll harass you just as much. Clockwork doing pretty decent. Looks like a sprint pop by Slardar. Not too sure what that was for. Maybe he's going for a gank attempt. He does have Queen of Pain hang around the back end. Clockwork throws out his cogs, pushes him back, drains a bit of his mana, make sure he can't get that secondary crush off. Top lane, see a bit of action happening. Jamie called out once again with that arrow. Eats that Star Slam to the face. He goes down, but Mirana's going to go down with that TP in from King Killer. Tidehunter called out. He's taking a little bit of damage, but he should be fine. And once again, feeds coming out from Jamie. King Killer still hasn't picked up his Midas yet. He's off to a bit of a slow start. He went over in the mid lane to try to kill the courier. Was a bit too slow. So now he's trying to pick up on farm. Horsemen of the Ruckus right now playing like Pubstars. We'll see if they're able to turn this around to a win. Or we'll see if the arrogance bites him in the face. Cold Snap out on Dream. Blinks out immediately. Doesn't want to trade with that. Throws out that Shadow Strike once again. Double D taking a bit of harassment. But with that Cold Snap, he could trade as good as he gets, and he's switching to the Quas Regen right now to get a bit of regeneration going on. That's one of the reasons why you don't want to get that second point up in Shadow Strike. Against an Invoker, it's not as effective as it could be. If you're against the melee hero, possibly. And wow, Gats goes down to the Mirana. Face tanking an error.
Yeah, he errored him.
Great plays coming out from Jimmy Whispers, really showing off his ability to land those arrows, although that could be Horseman of the Ruckus running into them. But nonetheless, solid plays coming out. There we go, Gas respecting the arrow. He plays Mirana himself, so I guess he knows better than anybody. The thing though...
We haven't really seen much of this Warlock so far.
Yeah, he's been spending a lot of time that...
Like pulling?
Yeah, he's been stacking and pulling. We saw Stranger Danger doing this in the last games at Necrophos. He wasn't really able to accomplish all too much with it. But with that Warlock, once he hits level 6, his teamfight power goes to the roof. We see he's gone for those early points up in Fatal Bonds, recognizing that that's the spell that he needs to have maxed out secondary. In top lane, bit more action happening. Got a dual lane happening in a competitive environment, something very rare. We see Gats actually skip the third point over in Blade Spin in order to get a point up in stats as well as a point up in that healing ward. Really don't like this skill build pickup from him. You want to make sure you get that Blade Spin maxed out as soon as possible. That's the majority of your damage outside of your ultimate. 700 damage at level 4 is no laughing matter. Double damage up on Queen of Pain. She's still actually somehow behind on CS despite the fact that Dumbledy essentially let her get 2 free levels before he even skilled up his regen. Snapping some CS right now. Be interesting to see if he goes for that Yule's pickup so he can land those solo kill Sunstrikes. Got Sunstrike already invoked. That arrogance coming out from Dumbledy. He's got Phase Boots flying out to him. He's just waiting for a gank attempt so he can get those 6 Sunstrikes. Over in the bottom lane.
Gets next to Blade Theory considering there's a Rubick with him.
Yeah, that's also true. I guess it's a lack of confidence on his Rubick player. Yeah, that's just a strange skill build coming out.
And Jamie.
Which is fair enough. This is the first game I've ever seen Jamie play Rubick. I've told him in the past you should probably learn to play this hero. Too stubborn to listen, but what can you do? He does have that Omni Slash though, so if he does catch a hero out in the zone, he can bring them down. Tidehunter will be a little bit too tanky to go down to that, but he can always follow up with the Blade Spin. Stranger Danger, not really accomplishing all too much. I would like to see Phase into drums that Vladimir is offering. It's a good mid-game build, since right now SNB have a superior team fight, and from the look of it, they might actually have superior late game, unless a King Killer gets an awful lot of farm, which he might. Dumbledy just throwing a few hits out right now. Goes in for the Cold Snap. If he got one more hit off and landed that Sunstrike, that would have been a kill. Just going to do a quick golden EXP check. 8 minutes, King Killer's picked up is Midas. Regeneration and Queen of Pain. That's a slap in the face. King Killer TPing over into the top lane. Omni Slash thrown out. Ravage flies out. Great timing and patience from that Tidehunter. Sunstrike just misses. Tommy just off the mark. King Killer's going to go down. Eats that Blink Scream as well as that Shadow Strike. Bit of a waste of mana, but nonetheless, Queen of Pain gets a kill. SNB punishing the arrogance. Actually, Gats is caught out with an arrow. He could go down. If he throws up the Sonic Wave goes down. Lift over at Queen of Pain, but she should be fine. Dumbledy
middle tower is under attack.
Nowhere in sight. He can't really help out with that Quas Exort build. He misses Sunstrike. Jamie unable to really do anything besides pick him up and throw him back. Queen of Pain with that regeneration.
Those arrows are too good by Mirana.
Yeah, this Mirana has been landing a few great arrows. I'd like to see Gats have his finger hovering over that Q. So the instant he sees that arrow, he can always Blade Spin. It's a waste of a Blade Spin, but rather that than tanking the arrow to the face and going down. Looks like King Killer's actually...
start getting serious after 10 kills ahead.
It'll be interesting to see if they can win despite this handicap they've imposed on themselves. Dream taking a lot of damage with that Treant and Cold Snap. A lot of damage coming out. If Dumbledore lands one more hit with that Wrath of Nature, if he can land a Sunstrike, there will be a kill. We'll be watching that Queen of Pain. She's hanging around. She's waiting for that Sunstrike to fly out. Throws out the Blink, and no Sunstrike thrown out by Dumbledore. He's just interested in taking the tower. With 3 heroes there, should be first tower heading over in favor. The dire side. Tidehunter's about to TP in.
What just happened?
But fearing the Sunstrike as well as the Cogs, he wisely backs out. He doesn't have his Ravage. Forced to use it to keep himself alive. And middle tower goes in favor of the dire side. Looks like Cats is actually going to go for that Battle Fury build despite having a slow start. He's picked up the Ring of Regeneration. No magic stick up on him. We'll see how this build works out for him.
Gats' favorite hero, he always goes the same build every time.
We see...
So watch all his replays and tell you it's exactly the same.
UGTFO picks up Invisibility Rune. Looks like Mirana spotted that out. She immediately leaps back. Looks like Slardar's going for an early Armlet pickup. Really not liking this item build. He should have gone for that Blink Dagger. Recognizing that they're already ahead, get further ahead. Recognizing the fact that they have a very greedy dire draft, especially with that Nature's Prophet jungling. Interesting to see that no one's attempted to roam and gank him. Jesse's been sitting there, heading creeps, playing PvE this entire time. Has not been punished. UGTFO catches out Stranger Danger, caught in the cogs, goes down to Sunstrike from Invoker. Great plays from Dumbledore. Not too short Stranger Danger's doing that out on his own, especially with the Tail 1 tower down. Dream hanging out. Arrow flies out.
Is it obvious why?
Arrow catches Gats, he runs in a straight line, eats the arrow to the face, goes down to the Ravage, Rubick goes down, it's a Sonic Wave, not too sure what the Sonic Wave is thrown out. SNB a little bit frustrated the last game, taking out that frustration over in the trash talking Rubick, over on Gats, hook shot in from the Clockwork, followed by the Rocket Player, catches out Jimmy Whispers, he doesn't have mana for his leap, he's gonna get right clicked down, doesn't have mana for that Battery Assault, but he should be fine. SNB Dream doesn't have enough mana for any of his spells, does have enough for a Blink however, looks like she's just going to right click him down with that Fatal Bonds, with that Shadow Word, he goes down to one last right click from the Warlock, over Warlock duking it out over with Dumbledore, with those Forge Spirits as well as that self-target Sunstrike, he backs off. Very messy fight coming out, Horseman of the Ruckus somehow snag a kill in exchange for 2, and Gats is doing pretty bad over in that Juggernaut. In terms of CS, he's doing okay in terms of CS. It's just he's died 3 times already when he shouldn't have. Really hasn't accomplished all too much in that dual lane up top. In terms of net worth, we see Dumbledore's leading the way.
Play some bets. Bets how long it takes Gats to use Bell Fury.
From the look of it, I'd give him about 20 more minutes. He's just picked up his Ring of Health. I'm looking at something like a 30-minute Battle Fury.
Nah, I'll say 25 minutes. Hold
Alright.
Again, trust me.
Looks like a 25 to 30 minute Battle Fury coming out from Gats as that one position player. We've got 4-star up on Dumbledore, so he'll be able to create some solo kill opportunities on his own using that Forge Spirits, using the 4-star, as well as his right click power with the Forge Spirits. And with the Cold Snap, sorry, he can do a lot of damage on his own. Gats hanging around. He hasn't learned the art of moving in the zigzag. We've got some rotations happening. Tide's hanging around. He doesn't have Ravage. Sunstrike just for that harassment over on Mirana. She leaps out. She's terrified of what's happening. Tidehunter choosing not to skill Anchor Smash. Going for a second point up in Kraken Shell. I really don't like this. You want to max Gush if you're in a supporting position like he is with that Mirana. Otherwise, you max out that Anchor Smash. Even then, the main reason for going for that point up in Gush is just for the snare as well as the damage. Negative armor is nice, it does scale, but it also scales in the late game as negative armor. If you max out that Anchor Smash, you could get at least 2 of them off in a fight. You're already doing more damage, as well as the fact that it's AoE. Not scaling that Anchor Smash is a very questionable build. You only need 1 point up in Kraken Shell. The damage block isn't really worth it. The main reason you go for that Kraken Shell is to give yourself that CC debuff. When you take 600 points of damage, immediately purges off any stuns. With a single point up in Kraken Shell, they can't lock you down, so you can always get that Ravage off. That's the reason why you just need that 1 point. The damage block isn't really that handy. You could get the same result with the Stout Shield. Having those points on the Anchor Smash gives you a lot more DPS.
Build. It's pretty much like a Dota 1 pub Tidehunter build.
Yeah!
And then Kraken Shell, and then you get Bell Fury. He's like, yeah, I got this. I'm carry Tidehunter now.
And it changes your attack animation, so it looks like you're always anchor smashing. Back when anchor smash used to be a percenter pro.
Good days. Good days.
Cog pushback over on Sven. On Slardar, sorry. Slardar is chasing with the amplified damage. You can't juke out Clockwork. Clockwork pops that battery assault, doing that damage. King Killer TP's in. Cold Snap with the force burst, wants to right click. Meatball flies out, misses the majority of damage hit, but with that rocket and that right click coming up from Invoker, he's able to bring him down. Slardar not respecting the power of the next Prophet able to teleport in. Not respecting the power of that Clockwork to go toe-to-toe with that battery assault. It does an awful lot of damage if you're the only one that's hitting. Actually, UGTFO chosen to max out Rocket Flare. Not the best build. You usually want to max out that battery assault, but there are a few cases where pro players choose to max out Rocket Flare if they know they're not going to accomplish all too much in the lane. Hasted Rubick runs on up. Doesn't have... Oh no, never mind. He has his ultimate. Doesn't go for the steal. I wonder if he's stolen the spell already. No, he could have gone for that steal over in Quaff, as any of her 4 spells are pretty dangerous. Having that blink on the Rubick gives you an extra initiation and escape spell. Having that Shadow Strike. Steal a spell! Moonlight Shadow thrown out. Looks like the Radiant started grouping up. Yeah, not too sure what he's really doing. Gone for a point up in his passive? Yeah, Gats might do his run in a straight line tactic. Arrow flies out. First arrow missed by that Mirana. Jamie's actually gone for a point up in
type in chat.
telekinetic field. Not a big fan of this. You want to max out that telekinetic lift as soon as possible. That extra duration on that stun is invaluable, as well as the cooldown reduction and the ability to throw people back. So not only is it disabled, it's also a repositioning spell. One of the reasons why it's such a strong CC ability. Maxing out that Fade Bolt is justifiable. It is a good nuke, and it's always nice to use it to finish people off. Looks like King Killer's going for the Shadow Blade. His farm has been alright, besides from that one death, he's been farming pretty well. He's got his minus up at 8 minutes. Has his ult up to defend pushes, has that maxed out teleportation. UGTFO picks up that double damage rune. He's the only player I think so far, besides from Dumbledy, who hasn't been completely screwing around, and even then, Dumbledy screwed around by not skilling his regen until level 2. So UGTFO saving grace for Horseman of the Ruckus. Throws out that Rocket Flare to the mid lane.
I think it's gonna be fun when SNB sees the VODs to this.
Yeah, they'll recognize how much we've been trolling our good friends over on Horseman of the Ruckus. Jamie's actually in the living room right now playing, so if I wanted to, I could walk over, start poking him, saying, "What the fuck are you doing? Get your shit together."
Yeah, can you tell him to stop throwing? No, like, seriously? He's my replacement?
Ah, I see. So he reflects badly on you, huh?
Pretty much. How long has he been playing Dota for?
He's been playing as long as I have, which is funny. In fact, he introduced me to Dota back when we were playing it in Parnell. That's how we met. We're sitting in math class, and we're both talking about Dota, but I didn't know about the Frozen Throne expansion. So I thought it was just talking about like Reign of Chaos Dota. I was like, wait, hang on.
Oh my god, that's so bad.
Yeah, and then we went out and played Dota. Sprout into the 4-staff, into the EMP Deafening Blast, and he goes down. Never mind Deafening Blast, the EMP, instead of the EMP, the Deafening Blast from Invoker. He doesn't even have any substantial points up in Wex. He's just got that one to give him that Deafening Blast. One of the best CC spells in the game. It's AoE, it pushes you back, gives you about 3 seconds of lockdown, and it disarms. Incredibly broken spell. Only balanced by the fact that you need a lot of points up and all of your regens for it to really be effective. Moonlight Shadow thrown out from Mirana. They're going in for a grouped up gank, seeing if they could catch anybody opposition. Just UGTFO they see right now. He's not the target they want to go for. Or is he? No, actually they're backing around. They're turning around. They're going for UGTFO. Probably the worst hero you want to go for is that Clockwork. He actually walks into the arrow. Bit unfortunate. It's that gush. It's the chaotic offering. SNB overcommitting like crazy. It's that double star storm to the face and goes down. I guess they want to transition it into a push. Yeah, I don't blame them. The lack of respect coming up from Horseman of the Ruckus, as well as Game 1, was a slap in the face. They're out for blood.
How's Gav's farm doing? How close is he to Bell Fury?
I think he's got his perseverance. He's actually almost there. He's about 900 gold off. Jamie actually stole Chaotic Offering. He got a great spell steal, but it looks like he's gonna die, so it doesn't even matter. Ravage thrown out, just clips the Invoker. Dumbledy throws out the meatball, backs himself out with that force up, doing a lot of damage. Queen of Pain copying a lot of damage from that ultimate thrown out from Gats. He gets a kill. Gats is back in action. He doesn't have enough for that blade spin, but he should be able to right click down Stranger Danger.
He's got this.
Oh shit. Gats, and Gats we trust. No, the hook shot misses. Sunstrike's gonna finish off. Stranger Danger. Queen of Pain blinks out before he gets right-clicked down by the Gats. And good turnaround from Horseman of the Ruckus despite that pretty terrible early start. King Killer, he's just picked up his Shadow Blade. Gats has his Battle Fury, so wow, 19-minute Battle Fury. What do you know, Wells?
Looks like I owe you a beer now.
Here we were thinking it'd be at least 25 minutes, at least 30 minutes, but he's gone at 20. Good plays coming out from Gats. And SNB Dream just letting the skin of his teeth. We've got that Healing Ward coming out from Juggernaut. That's one of the reasons why he's such a strong mid-game hero. Keeps up sustainability for the wave, means that the creeps stay alive, you can tank damage. We got that blinking from the Slardar. Troll Poppy Paws coming up from Jamie. What the hell is this? Slardar's just blinked in. Warlock already in mid-cast for that crush. Gats is going to be caught way out of position. With Dumbledy in the background to provide that cold snap. With Jamie in the background to also throw out that telekinetic lift. Bit of a troll cast out. It looks like Jamie's getting a bit mad. Alrighty. Yeah, we should probably cut out spectator comments.
Sweet.
Okay. Looks like we're back to a serious game again. Besides Horseman and Ruckus throwing their early lead, looks like they decided to put on their serious pants. And we're just about to unpause. Slardar's just blinked in. He should be able to get that crush off unless Tommy's able to get some insane cold snap clicks off. He's got the reflexes for it. Let's see if he can cold snap Slardar before he gets that crush off. If he does, Slardar will go down. Never mind. Gats is able to blade spin out. Shadow Strike over on Dumbledy. Throws out the 200 level 2 Wax Tornado. Pushes them all back. And wow, that pause actually... Jamie remarking how sorry he is for that tactical pause. Alrighty, so it looks like the game's somewhat stabilized now. Just going to do a quick golden EXP check. In terms of EXP, 3,000 EXP lead for Horseman of the Ruckus, and 7,500 gold lead. Their net worth is higher, so despite feeding all those kills, they're keeping ahead in CS. Using that to stay ahead. Looks like we've stopped the smack talk coming out from Jamie. Game's become serious again. And looks like a Helm of Iron Will picked up on Slardar. And then going towards the Blink Dagger, I really don't like that. He should have chosen to go for that Blink immediately after picking up that Treads, or even with Naked Boots. The Helm of Iron Will really offers nothing to that Slardar. The regeneration armor is nice, but it's 950 gold that delayed your Blink Dagger by about 2 minutes. If he got that Blink Dagger earlier, could have created a lot more space for his team, could have gone for those early ganks. Slardar excels once he hits level 6, level 7, because of the sheer amount of damage coming out from that amplified damage in the early stages of the game. When everyone has very low armor, no one really has any armor items up yet. UGTFO, hang around the back end, arrow flies out, Moonlight Shadow, hook shots in, over into the Slardar, backs out, unable to see him, Sprout catches out Warlock, Chaotic Offering flies out, Sonic Wave, as well as that Rabbit, Dumbledy taking a lot of damage right now. Rubick's about to go down, takes the Anchor Smash to the face, UGTFO goes down the back row, gets that telekinetic left, goes down to the right click from the Warlock, Dumbledy eats the Shadow Strike, Slardar hanging around, Gats moves in, throws out the Omni Slash, gets a kill over on Slardar. Dumbledy throws out the Ghost Walks, able to snare them, gets hit in the face with the arrow, but he should be okay. Actually gets a kill using the micro from his Forward Spirit, sorry. And King Killer hanging around the background, not too sure what he was doing there. He sprouts, he TP's home. He should be able to make it, there we go, he's fine. Dumbledy hanging around the background, they don't have a dust to reveal.
The Anchor Smash nearly killed Dumbo?
Yeah. He tanked 2 of them, but with that passive regen from that Quas, he should be fine. He's still hanging around. He's going for that Aghanim Scepter. He wants to rely on that 2-second Invoke to get all those spells off. Dumbledy is one of those players that has a high enough APM and fast enough fingers to be able to pull it off. Would have liked to see something like a BKB, or even something like a Sheepstick on him, but nonetheless, Aghanim Scepter, great pickup. The only real drawback with that pickup, though, is Invoker has to hit level 17 before he reaches critical mass. But so far, with his early lead, he should be doing well. Yeah, and a bit of a wasted glyph over the Radiant side. That's always a shame. 5 minutes, that's on cooldown. Necrobook coming out from Jesse, so went for Shadow Blade and then the Necrobook. Bit interesting, usually when the Nexus Prophet goes for the Shadow Blade, they go for damage. Yeah, Aghanim Scepter, great pickup over the Juggernaut. Increases the slashes from 9 to 12, as well as decreasing the cooldown to 70 seconds. as each Omni Slash takes 0.4 seconds, and Juggernaut by that point has about 2 attacks per second. Increasing it by 1.2 seconds means he gets about 2-3 more slashes off during that Omni Slash. Can mean a significant difference, especially once he picks up something like the Desolator. Having a bit of lag spikes over on my end, never mind stabilized a bit. King Killer throwing out a bit of right clicks over on the neutrals, and we've got the Ancients being cleared out by Dumbledore. Rubick hanging around the background, trying to leech a bit more EXP. He's choosing to max out Telekinetic Field instead of going for that Telekinetic Lift. Yeah, we've got an early Roshan attempt happening with that Forward Spirits reducing armor. Actually, I don't think it works on Roshan. Yeah, no, it doesn't seem to be proccing on Roshan. So, but just with the sheer amount of damage coming out, they should be fine.
Had a medallion would be great. Oh, it is Jesse.
Yeah, Jesse comes in with the trees. With the Forward Spirits, they can slowly siege down Roshan. Radiant side don't seem to be aware of this. If they do move in with that Moonlight Shadow, they've got that Sentry Ward placed there just in case. This isn't something they've noticed from their last game, especially in their best 2 series up against TYK, and that in game 2, they didn't place down a Sentry when they went for Roshan. Nyx Assassin was able to Vendetta in, catch Jesse over who was playing that Death Prophet, and start the fight 4v5. That really was a huge loss for 4 Horsemen of the Ruckus, as they gave away 3 Aegis as well as 3 or 4 kills. Invoker denies the tower. King Killer goes to the top lane. He needs to get that split push going. Horsemen of the Ruckus are relying on the fact that they have superior CS, superior net worth, and their players are much better at maximizing their GPM. So they rely on the fact that they can out-farm the Radiant side, who've been sticking around together as 5, fairing UGTFO solo gank power. UGTFO really has been carrying his team through this. While everybody else is sticking around, he was playing some solo Dota, making sure that he could pick up slack where he could. Just going to do a quick item check for the players over on the Radiant side. Aghanim Scepter picked up on Queen of Pain. This is an underrated pickup, especially as recently the Scepter upgrade reduces the cooldown to 40 seconds. If you pick it up early, like Queen of Pain has by rushing it, can offer you a lot of early game fights, as you can have the ult up after a gank attempt. You can use it to kill one hero, not have to worry about it. Warlock, he looks like he's going for the mechanism. He's got something flying out to him over in the courier, and he's almost got it, just needs the recipe. Tidehunter just with the Arcane Boots, he's saving up for his Blink Dagger. He's been listening and looks like he's gone for 3 points up in that Anchor Smash now, recognizing that 2 points of Cracker Shell is a bit too much. Having that Blink Ravage initiation is great. Over on Slardar, he's building towards that Armlet Modigian now. He has that Blink Dagger, he has the Helm of Iron Will as well as the Treads with the Magic Wand. Should have a bit more farm, but what can you do? Mirana's going for that Diffusal Blade after that Phase Boots. Great item for a ganking Mirana, as the Diffusal Blade Purge enables you to set up some easy arrows, as well as the extra damage coming out with the agility, as well as the mana burn coming out is always handy. UGTFO's just picked up an Aghanim Scepter, reduces the cooldown of the hookshot to 12 seconds, means he can use it to initiate as well as to get on back out by jumping to his teammates. Also means that during the retreat, when the Radiant side's running away, they could use it to pick them off. Queen of Pain, TP into the bottom lane. She could throw out her Sonic Wave. She could use that to... Oh, we've got a disconnect over from Slardar. Quick pause. Queen of Pain can throw out her Sonic Wave. Yeah, it looks like she's about to throw it. Just to clear out the creep wave. She'll have it back up in about 40 seconds, so she'll have it for the next fight. So Jesse, he's got that Necro 3 picked up on him. He's going for that split push Rat Dota build. Clockwork has that Aghanim Scepter. So with that 12 second
cooldown... Sorry, stream for that pause. That was unprofessional. Sorry, team.
Stop feeding, you cunt.
Also, yes.
Jamie just apologizing on stream. 12-second cooldown over on that hook shot means you can use it to initiate as well as pick off stragglers when they're retreating. You can also use that to get himself out of tricky situations by hook-shotting to his allies. Dumbledore, he's picked up his Aghanim Scepter as well. Gets rid of the mana cost for Invoke and reduces the cooldown to 2 seconds. It means that if he has fast enough fingers and good enough awareness of Invoker spells, he can throw out every single one of his abilities. Hasn't been picked up all too much recently. A lot of Invoker players prefer to pick up something like a BKB in team fights so they don't get locked down, or to pick up something like that Sheepstick to give a bit more utility to the team. But I guess Tommy's a bit more proud of his Invoker. He's picking up that Aghanim Scepter, saying, hey, I want to throw out some spells, let's do just that. Aghanim Scepter also picked up on Juggernaut. Triple Aghanim Core over in the Heroes of Horsemen of the Ruckus. Increases the amount of slashes, I believe increases it to 9 right now. And so 6 slashes originally, plus the 3 more from the Scepter. So 9 slashes on that Omni Slash, as well as reducing the cooldown to 70 seconds. Huge pickup. We'll see if Jamie eventually picks up enough farm for Aghanim Scepter of his own, but highly doubt that. He hasn't been getting all too much farm. He's been feeding. He wants to pick up something like a Blink Dagger or a 4-staff, or even both if he can get the farm, just to give him that maneuverability to be able to position himself in and out of fights. Just going to do a quick golden EXP check. 7,500 EXP lead in favor of the 4 Horsemen of the Ruckus in terms of gold. 15,000 gold lead. Despite feeding kills in the early game, despite throwing the game for a little bit, they are coming back with some consistent farm. As the greedy Nature's Prophet jungle was not punished at all by the Radiant side, and UGTFO played an excellent offlane Clockwork. He was able to get a lot of farm, did not die, and was able to simultaneously harass it back to Clockwork, the Slardar, who was left to his own devices, as Stranger Danger on that Warlock spent the majority of the laning phase simply pulling creeps and stacking. Does have a decent amount of passive farm, but right now the only thing he really offers these fights is that Fatal Bonds and Chaotic Offering, so we'll see if that's enough to help them hold. Any thoughts there, Paddy?
Sorry?
Any thoughts so far on the state of the game?
No, not much right now. I'm surprised like Horsemen have like co-opted this much in farm, even though like they're like SNB were so far ahead before.
Yeah, I think it's mostly coming from the fact that SNB grouped up a lot for those early ganks. They had 3 or 4 heroes constantly moving around the map. They weren't getting any CS during this, so even if they did get a 1 or 2 kills, on the meantime, all the heroes in the Horsemen of the Ruckus were able to pick up farm. All their cores were off farming. And with Jesse in the jungle and that Nature's Prophet not being punished at all, being able to throw that Wrath of Nature, and with that Midas, he's able to generate a lot of gold for his team. A few comments coming up from Hookshot. Eats an arrow to the face, throws out that Deafening Blast with that meatball. Ravage for throw now. Jimmy Whispers goes down to the burn damage from that meatball. Rocket Flare finishes off Tidehunter, even though they're invisible. With those sentries, with those dust. Slardar's called out position, dies to that Sprout and that Cold Snap. Cog and Stranger Danger, he goes down. UGTFO has been playing fantastically on that Clockwork. He's the only player that hasn't been trying to throw so far. And this Clockwork has been completely on point. Saw an opportunity for a kill attempt with that Queen of Pain.
Jesse got Snap Courier. Check this out.
Jesse hanging around. That Shadow Blade. Yeah, he popped that Shadow Blade, so they're able to see him. Micro that Courier through, and yeah, they know better. So he's just going to have to tank that tower on his way out. These are the treants to tank for him. And there we go. They're going to take a free Tattoo Tower and even attempt to break high ground. They don't have Ravage. Arrow flies out. We'll see if it hits Gats. No, it actually misses everyone. Very rare miss from Jimmy Whispers.
Does it hit Gats?
Gats jumps right in, throws out the Omni Slash. He's going to kill off that Mirana. Never mind. Tornado from Tommy's going to finish him off. EMP, Deafening Blast into the meatball, sorry. Pushes him back. Tidehunter doesn't have his Ravage. He's effectively useless. Queen of Pain goes down to the Teleconnect lift, and the damage coming up from them. Wrath of Nature, one more right click from Tommy. Godlike on Tommy with that triple kill. Showing off his moves over in the Invoker. UGTFO caught in a position. Gets called out that Blink Crush with that Armlet amplified damage. He gets beaten down. But that's a 1 for 4, as well as a tier 3. Looks like a rack for Horseman of the Ruckus. Cold Snap catches out that Slardar. He's copying a lot of damage. Tornado catches him out. Tidehunter buys back, but there's not an awful lot he could do. All he has is that Gush and Anchor Smash. His Ravage is still on cooldown. Is completely useless without that, without the rest of his team to provide him a bit more damage. Slardar moving in. Takes damage from minions that prevents him from being able to use that Blink. Good micro from Tommy as well as Jesse using their minions. Forward Spirits as well as Necrobook to keep him from being able to blink in. Necrobook doing a bit more damage on the tower. We'll see if Tidehunter goes for that kill. He goes for it, eats that 600 damage last wood to the face, but gets 200 gold for his trouble. He's happy with that. And with the treants able to do a lot of damage to that mid lane. Tier 3. UGTFO picks up that barbed armor. He doesn't want that to happen to him again. Gats, we'll be seeing what... It'll be interesting to see what enemy he picks up next. I would like to see a Desolator, as it synergizes very well with the physical damage coming out from the Omni Slash. The Feasel Blade finally picked up over in the Mirana. She pops that Moonlight Shadow. SNB are out for blood. We'll see if they can catch out Gats. Gats is completely on his own right now. We've got Dumble D and the Rubick hanging around the side. They initiate. Crush lands on Gats. Amplified damage. Arrow to the face. Teleconnect left. Throws back Slardar. But he eats a double star storm to the face. Ravage flies out as well as the Chaotic Offering. It brings down Rubick before he can do anything. King Killer comes in from the side. Throws out the right clicks. He gets a kill. Gats with that Aghanim, with the Aegis as well as the Aghanim Scepter Omni Slash. Able to get a kill. Queen of Pain is the only one left alive right now. She's called out with that Cold Snap. Able to blink, but UGTFO should be able to kill her. Sunstrike flies out. Tommy catches him out with the Sunstrike. He is beyond godlike. Playing a phenomenal Invoker game. So confident in that hero that you could choose to completely skip skilling region till level 2. UGTFO hooks and cogs the Golem just to bring him down. And that looks like a mid laner Rax. GG's called 29 minutes and 44 seconds in. Very strange game coming up from Horsemen of Ruckus. Despite giving them that handicap, despite playing terribly, intentionally throwing, they're still able to pull it through into a win. Good series coming up from Horsemen of Ruckus up against See and Believe. I'm your Community Shoutcaster 49. Joining me is Paddy. And that's all for the night, folks. Any final words? Alrighty, VODs will be uploaded sometime tomorrow. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching.